The Sydney Hunter franchise, first published by CollectorVision in 2012, is a series of Mayan-themed platformers that have been released for various retro and modern platforms. CollectorVision has finally gotten around to publish their first Sydney Hunter game for the Commodore 64 in the guise of Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe. You play the role of the great adventurer Sydney Hunter, who has gone out looking for treasure in the Yucatan Peninsula located in the southeastern part of Mexico, when you are captured by a mysterious tribe. While the tribe appears to be friendly, they are insistent on you helping them find their sacred portal before they grant you your freedom. So, you enter the tribe's temple and start your exploration in an effort to help them out and get back your freedom. Sydney Hunter is best described as an arcade-style platformer that involves you going around the temple looking for items that will help you remove roadblocks so that you can eventually get to the sacred portal. Searching for diamonds is the primary activity within Sydney Hunter, as tribesmen within the temple taverns will block your way forward unless you have the requisite amount of diamonds in your possession. There are 4 different types of diamonds available to collect, with each carrying a different value worth. The elusive gold diamond is the most valuable, being worth 20 diamonds, but they can only be collected by unlocking treasure chests with a special key. One important thing to note is that there does not appear to be a surplus of diamonds, and that you must collect each diamond hidden within the temple to complete the game. Something that I learned the hard way when I was 1 diamond short from completing the game near the end in one of my run-throughs. Along your journey, you will be hindered by various nasty creatures such as bats, spiders, snakes, scorpions, wasps, and rats, while at the same time navigating your way across spear traps, sinking sand, and lava pits. None of these impediments are all that difficult to bypass, and a brief study of the enemy movement patterns should be sufficient to help you determine the safe passage through for most of the screens. There are a few aids to help Sydney with his objective. Idols can be picked up for temporary invulnerability, and pineapples grant extra lives. But by far the most valuable tool at Sydney's disposal is the in-game map. Accessible by hitting the F1 key, that gets expanded upon each time a new screen is found. Without access to the game map, it would be very easy to have Sydney get lost within the temple, given that all the screens have only a subtle difference that sets them apart. When needing to backtrack to find a critical diamond or a key that you might have missed, it pays dividend to study the game map first to help you determine the most efficient path. Sydney Hunter utilises high-resolution graphics, which does a good job of defining the Sydney character, while at the same time successfully giving off the impression that the innards of the temple are dark and dangerous. Sydney's animation when jumping is probably a highlight, as he grabs hold of his hat while flying through the air. Another nice graphical touch found within the game is the flickering effect of the fire torches, and further enhances the temple's ambience. Enemy sprites are basic, but adequate enough to be able to convey what they are. There is not too much variation in the background graphics, and you are not going to be exposed to anything new or different once you've gone through the initial 10 or 20 screens. Sound-wise, a serviceable SID tune plays in the background and does not irate during gameplay. The game also contains a number of sound effects that are not too intrusive and were only noticeable when trying to traverse the fire pits. Moving Sydney around the screen is quite pleasurable, and you have a good control of his jumping mechanism. The game is quite forgiving in many cases and avoids the need to perform pixel-perfect jumps. However, some of the collision detection is suspect when it comes to collecting diamonds or jumping over enemy characters. But given the relaxed pace and ease of the game, this is far from being anything more than a minor inconvenience. Sydney Hunter is not a difficult game by any means, nor is it a game that provides much variation in gameplay as you delve deeper into the temple caverns. It should not take much time for you to be able to get to the stage where you have gone through all 100 screens and collected the 150 diamonds required to bypass the third and final tribesman blocking your way, and ready to take on the task of getting through the final screen and thus obtaining your freedom. Sydney Hunter and the Sacred Tribe is a good game that does a lot of things well without it being spectacular or groundbreaking. There is some merit in pointing to the game perhaps being too short or lacking variation for a commercial grade product. However, most gamers will find Sydney Hunter to be a pleasant gaming experience that successfully upholds the notion that the current generation of commercial titles is bringing forth a second golden era for the Commodore 64.